Hi there. You're listening to the Voice with Action podcast. I am your host, Deb Balico.
And I am Rebecca Pratt, co-founder and president of Orphan Relief and Rescue. Tune in to be awakened and inspired to take action towards what you were created to do in this world, to live fully alive.
Hello, and welcome to the Voice with Action podcast. I'm here with Jessica and Rebecca. Jessica is a part of Rebecca's home church in Austin, Texas, and she was able to travel with Rebecca to West Africa. And so we're going to hear some stories and more about her experience during that time. So, Jessica, it's nice to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so Rebecca, I know you guys were talking a little bit off air about some really cool stories that happened during your trip together. So Jessica, I would love to know, why did you want to travel to West Africa to begin with?
Just like hope or life for like some of these children, how they're entrapped into the rituals or culture, the voodoo, and kids don't even have a purpose or value over there. Like a mom or parents could just sell their kids into slavery. It's really sad, and they think they're doing a good deed. And some of the rituals where they cut their children to draw blood for their voodoo gods and stuff. It's just like they need the love of Jesus, the creator, and not like the created gods, So it was just good to go over there and speak biblical truth and just love on people, pray on people, because the people you're praying for are people who enslave their kids, and they think nothing is wrong with that. And so it's good to just love on people, even if you don't agree with what they're saying, but just let them and share the light and love of Jesus, because he died for all of us. So just letting people know that it doesn't matter how far gone you think you are or what you've done in your past, that Jesus died for you and he loves you. So it was good to just speak truth in a dark world, dark places. So that's what I love to go and just be a help, be a light in a dark place.
Yeah, and Jessica was telling me some stories that really impacted her on this trip, and I would love for her to share some of those stories.
Yeah, so Saturday program where any kid, if they're on our program or not, they could come and I get a free meal. And actually, Rebecca saw her in the distance and she wasn't eating her food. And everybody is hungry. There's not like here in America, you have, you open up the fridge, you have some milk, you have at least one running water, maybe some cereal, you have something. But over there, there's no electricity, refrigerators, there's not plumbing. In some parts there are, but not everywhere, especially not a lot in the villages, if any. And so she wasn't eating her food, and Rebecca called her and says, "Why aren't you eating?" She didn't want to talk about it. She ended up, just being friendly and being nice to her. And she ended up telling us her father died. Her mom remarried her uncle, and if she didn't bring the food back to her mom and her uncle, they would beat her. And she had her little sister carrying her on her back, which meant she got a meal too. So she had both plates of food, and she couldn't eat them because she'd get beat if she went home and ate the food that was supposed to be for her. So it's just a sad life and circumstances. And what's a blessing with OOR, Rebecca had the staff come out and, try to give her the help and support. And now we're actually in her home village and sharing the light and love of Jesus. And I'm not for sure, but she's probably on the feeding program that helps all kids get meals daily, even in the summer.
Yeah. So just to clarify for our listeners, so during one of our ministry sessions, you saw this girl out not eating her food and kind of alerted our team to it. And from that, then our team can then follow that girl and invite her to become a part of our anti-trafficking program, and then invite her mom and uncle to join the savings and loan program. Is that kind of how it works?
So we had found out through just interviewing her a little bit more, and the staff interviewing her, that she was being beat every day. Her older sister had been trafficked already. and she was doing all the work of the home. So it was evident that she was going to be trafficked next, that she was just being used as a slave even in the home. So our team, our anti-trafficking team definitely sees all the signs, and they're saying, yeah, she's going to be next. So she was able to be put onto the program, and through her life, many, many more children have come onto the program because we got into her village. She was from a neighboring village. Yeah. So
Wow.
it's really sweet.
And now we've moved into their village. That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what's the next story?
I know. She's got
yeah,
some cool
that's
ones.
true.
Yeah.
There's one where we were in a village last year. So I've been twice to West Africa with the team. And one village, I think 2 people asked for prayer. And we're there to pray. We want to pray for everyone. So if we're there like 2 hours for praying for people, we are willing and we want to, or longer, whatever. And this past year, when we went a few months back, the pastor says, if you want to give your life to Christ, repeat after me. But if you feel strongly about it, would you stand up to give your life to Christ? And over 100 people in this village just is giving their life to Christ. So it's just amazing that meeting a hunger, a need with OOR, just helping out, feeding people, giving them water, just that physical need, but also the spiritual need of eternal life, like leading people to Christ. Because, it's the rituals that they perform on the kids it's just horrific. So it's a light, because we're here to, as a Christ follower, we are here to serve other people and go to nations or just be disciples and just love on people. So it was just beautiful to see. Like, if I didn't go last year, I would be like, oh, you tell them about Christ, and then they come forward and they receive Christ in prayer. And from last year to this year, it's just beautiful what God's doing in these villages, and just it's amazing. It really is. God is good.
Yeah, that's amazing that in just 1 year, because you've been twice now, you've even seen kind of the difference in just 1 year is made. And it's true, like, we have to provide food, we have to provide services before they can even hear about this God of love.
Yeah.
An empty belly has no ears, I think, is an old saying. And so it's true. Like, how can you share the love of God if they're starving? That's the first step. And then realizing the impact of these programs, that they're like, oh, you're motivated by a God of love. Maybe I do want to learn about this God that I don't know about, a God of love. Teach me. That's cool that you witnessed to that and have seen the difference.
Yeah, you got a couple more stories.
Yes,
you told me about.
I do. Yes, I do. Another story is we have prayer time with anybody who wants to, come for prayer. And I was actually praying with Rebecca, and Rebecca helped a young boy kind of ask about his story, and his father murdered his mother, and just walking through that burden, that unforgiveness that you have and that weighs down you and just torments you. And she walked him through steps of forgiveness. And as Christ followers, we are called to forgive. And if, we don't forgive, our brothers and sisters, how is God going to forgive us of our sins, our wrongdoings? Because all of us are sinners. And it was just beautiful for him to verbally speak that he forgave his father for what he did to his mother. And it's so much freedom. It just, when you speak those words, it's like you're chained up, and then the chains just fall. And we serve a mighty God, the creator of everything. And just putting that weight and that burden on Christ, which isn't a burden from him, but getting it off our chest and speaking that. And there's more to it than just, you got to walk it. But it was beautiful to just see him have so much more freedom, and, how much resentment and burden he's carried for so many years, and actually is walking through forgiveness. It's very, very beautiful to see and witness that.
Yeah, it really is beautiful when we can see God working, in people's lives. And it's a privilege, to be able to see him moving all the way across the world, but, in your own community and the people that live right next door, or in your own sphere of influence. So, I love these stories.
Mm-hmm. Yep, one more.
One more. I like just the obedience and the call to come start in West Africa, just how Rebecca has, was called to start up this ministry here. And I don't think most people are like, hey, I want to go to a foreign country and do all this, because it's a lot and it's hot. I mean, we like I like the AC sort of thing, but just willing to serve others. There's many people I've encountered who have been taken advantage of sexually by family members at a very young kids at a very, very young age. And like kids, 3, 4, 5 years old being sent into slavery. And it's just beautiful. Rebecca was obedient to what God called her to do, and how people are coming back to their families and not being entrapped in slavery anymore. Letting them know educating about a God who loves them, who really cares for them. And they don't need to follow these fake gods, these voodoo gods. And there's power in the demonic realm. There's just way more power than Christ. God is just the creator of it all. So it's like, this ritual and this voodoo is all created, man-made, So it's wild to see just what an answer to prayer, and talking to children who have been enslaved and would probably still be enslaved if Rebecca didn't go and be an answer to prayer, be obedient.
Yeah, and then I have to piggyback that with partnerships with people like you. And, we have an amazing staff. We have 36 employees over in West Africa right now that are the heroes. And then the heroes on this end are the givers. And, Jessica has chosen to sacrificially give as well, and just, help rescue many more children and take care of them every day. And so it really is a partnership with people that just, want to see these kids come to Jesus and be set free, both spiritually and practically. And it's just beautiful. Do you want to share what your motivation was in helping even financially?
Yeah, I just think here in the States, we have programs if you, aren't working, lost your job. We have all these government assistance that is great. But over there, I'm like, why don't these kids just, if they know they're going to be sold, why don't they just walk into the city and get help? And there's not that over there. And just thinking how, if you live in an apartment or a house, you have running water, you have electricity, you have a restroom, or a house, you might have 3 restrooms, 3 bedrooms, and that's more than a lot of people. We're blessed. And if you have a Starbucks, that's like $8 for a drink. It's like, where can I cut with my luxuries and give to someone less fortunate? Because there's thousands of kids that need to be on the program, but it comes out of our pockets. You have to give. So where can I cut in my life? Of course, I ain't going to that gym. Like, it's $45 a month. I ain't going to a gym, and I could help a child. The movies, going to the movies and popcorn and all this extra stuff that we don't need, but we want. And it's good to just kind of humble yourself and just give to a bigger cause.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing. Like an $8 coffee, if the average wage is 25 cents a day, one cup of coffee could almost last in a whole month for them of their wage. When you put it in perspective, how far your dollar goes. Yeah, like Rebecca was saying, why are you financially motivated? Is it because you've been there and traveled there and seen what the programs do?
I don't think it's so much for that. It makes you want to, because when you hear the stories, you're like, there's no way. There's no way you have kids and then you're just going to sell them. And there's villages that like every household has done that. And it's just so common there. It's like, there's no way you can have a child and do that. I don't have kids, but I have siblings. And I'm like, I don't care what would happen. There's no way I could sell my sister or brother. And just seeing people doing that, like hearing the stories, it seems so unreal. And over there, it's just so common practice. So I think just hearing the stories of Rebecca and how true they are is more than enough. But actually going over there is like, I can do more. Definitely can do more. Cut down on so much I can do in my life just to help give back to others in need, because when I think of, oh, I need this, I need to save this for a bigger house or save for a nicer car. It's like, I don't need any of those things, just being content where you are and then giving back is definitely amazing. But going to the trip helps that. But even just hearing the stories, it's like, wow, this is so unreal.
Yeah, it's people like Jessica and others that are the reason that we're able to do this work. It's just humbling, very humbling.
Yeah, we do thank you, because I agree. People like you represent the heroes here who are financially just listening, like God's prompted your heart and asked you, hey, are you willing to support what I'm doing? God's saying, this is what I'm doing, and I'm using Orphan Relief and Rescue to do what I want to do. But are you willing to sacrifice and support what I'm doing financially? And so many people pray, and it's amazing. So yeah, thank you. I'm curious, for your own heart, what's something that you've learned about just kind of yourself or your faith, or just even God himself, on this by traveling to West Africa?
So I would say, just to clarify, the real heroes are the boots on the ground, the team there who every single day are cooking for the children, giving out the meals, and if a kid doesn't make it to school, there's a team that will go and check on them at their home to make sure they're still there. They're not feeling well that day and not being sold. So those are by far the heroes. This is just like a little good deed or something, but the boots on the ground are definitely the real heroes. In my life is really seeing the team, just how if we have a car issue, it's just the first thing they do is prayer. And I love that. It makes me just want to be a prayer warrior, like some of the team. It's like me, I'll be like, oh, what's, for me, I'll talk to friends. I'm like, oh, tell me more, or okay. And other people, it's like their first thing is just prayer. And it helps me with my prayer life, meeting with people. I keep a journal, and I get to pray for them when I'm here. So spiritually, it helps me grow and want to just be some of like the team that's boots on the ground over there. I aspire to be more like them and just always walk by faith. And for me, I always, I like safety nets, and I like to plan. I like structure. And over there, it's just like God use me in whatever way. So probably prayer is what it really helps me grow with, and just seeing how God is so good. God is just amazing. Like Rebecca goes all the time, but it's just, you want to put the gas pedal, floor it. You just want to keep going. And then after a couple of months, it's like, I know I got to stick into prayer. I made a promise. I'm going to stick into prayer, because I pray for my friends, my family, all this here. But, it does take, when you write down these requests every day about the people in West Africa, it does take your prayer time a lot longer. So just really be diligent and continue.
It's beautiful. Yeah, she's a prayer warrior. I love it. She's got her little notebook out.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody's saying a prayer request, she's grabbing her notebook and she's writing it down. I'm like, man, this girl's serious. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, she's not just saying, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, that's really tough, But she literally is writing it down, and she's committing to pray. And that's, it's beautiful to watch.
So what would you say, Jessica, to like coming back to someone at your church who's not been able to travel to West Africa? How would you encourage them?
I would say definitely pray. I mean, especially when, days before, like when we go on the trip, Rebecca would be like, you really need to clear your heart and like forgive people. Like it's a devil's playground if you have unforgiveness, and really seek the Lord and stuff. So definitely pray while the team's there, but just praying throughout the year, because there's so much power in the prayer. And if there's any way to save a little and help somebody go, or help sponsor a child who would be enslaved, because, you don't have the government assistance over there. If somebody's getting beat or harmed or needs to be in a safe house or out of a circumstances, it's really the sponsors that play a big part. So definitely prayer, sponsors, maybe help sponsor somebody there. So going on the trip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. Jessica's little plug. It takes $50 a month for one child to have them enrolled in school, fed twice a day, and their caregivers to be put in our savings and loan program. So even if you can't afford $50 a month, you could partner with a friend, $25 a month, partner with someone else to rescue and prevent one child from entering into a life of slavery. So you can find out more at orphanreliefandrescue.org. And Jessica, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your prayers and your heart of intercession, and just even sharing your stories, because it's inspiring to hear how you see God moving and working through ORR, but then also just your heart of service and willingness to go. And so thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to help in any way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hope you all can tune in next week.
Thank you for listening to the Voice with Action podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you consider sharing or subscribing to this podcast and leave a 5-star review to help us grow? If you want to reach us or help us end child trafficking in West Africa, go to orphanreliefandrescue.org. That's orphanreliefandrescue.org. See you next week.